Hello and welcome everybody. In this video, we are going to discuss the roller coaster ride that was WandaVision finale. All of our wait and theories come to an end with the end of WandaVision episode 9. Some were disappointed that we didn't get any major cameos like Doctor Strange or Mephisto. And let's not forget the thing with the Aero Space Engineer. But nonetheless, what we get is a finale that was all about Wanda and Vision. And it pretty much answered most of our questions while bringing up new ones for the future of the MCU. Like what is going on with the White Vision, and what did Wanda really unleash when she turns herself into a Scarlet Witch? So let's get into it. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to make sure you will not miss any future updates. And with that out of the way, let's get started with the video. The final episode begins right after where the show ended in episode 8, and we are finally told what Agatha really wanted and what was she doing in Westview. Well, as it turns out, she wanted to steal Wanda's chaos magic and her powers that made her a Scarlet Witch. Agatha Harkness believes that a Scarlet Witch is a force of destruction and should not exist, and Wanda is in no way capable of handling such immense powers. After all, after years of trauma and loss, Wanda is kind of mentally vulnerable. Agatha goes a step further and tells us that a Scarlet Witch is actually the stuff of legend and is mentioned in the Darkhold, which is the book containing the most powerful dark magic spells and rituals. And as it is mentioned in the Darkhold, her powers exceed that of Sorcerer Supreme. And I see some people are confused by this major bombshell, which should not be surprising to people who saw my video in Scarlet Witch powers, because it is well known that very few can match the raw powers of a Scarlet Witch. You will have to bring someone like Franklin Richards from the comics to really challenge her powers. So yes, her powers are greater than that of Doctor Strange. And most of the time, Doctor Strange doesn't really use his own powers because he hardly has any. Rather, he is channeling the powers of the other gods through his spells. But that is not only the major thing that we get in the finale. Agatha also tells us that it is mentioned in the Darkhold that it is a Scarlet Witch's destiny to destroy the world. So yes, be prepared to see Wanda taking down the MCU with her. And it is definitely what Marvel is heading towards, and it is just a reference for what's to come. But the funny thing is, even after knowing all this, Agatha had some guts challenging Wanda, which ends up the only way it could have. That is Wanda transforming herself into the Scarlet Witch and draining the magical powers from Agatha Harkness and turning her back into the happy neighbor that she was in the earlier episodes. But this is not the last time that we have seen Agatha Harkness, and we should expect her to return in the future, as Catherine Hahn, the actress playing Agatha, is open to return to MCU if needed. Now let's talk about Vision and White Vision. All the theories about White Vision being Ultron didn't turn out to be true. But what we did get was the fight scene between Vision and White Vision. And the most important thing that we learn from this fight is that White Vision has the same powers as that of normal Vision, since White Vision too can phase through things and shoot a laser from his forehead and can also fly. We know that White Vision is powered by Wanda's chaos magic, as that was the missing piece that SWORD needed to bring Vision back online. But what we don't know is what is that piece in his forehead which earlier used to be the Mind Stone. The acting director of SWORD, that is Tyler Hayward, turns out to be the second villain of the show, as he was the one who sent White Vision to kill both a Scarlet Witch and Vision. But luckily Wanda's Vision ends up convincing White Vision to see the truth by unlocking his previous memories. So now White Vision remembers everything from Age of Ultron to Avengers Infinity War. The interesting thing that happens here is that he doesn't fly out to help Wanda or even try to find her, but he goes on to do something else, which we will discuss in another video, so don't forget to subscribe for that one. Now let's move on to Pietro. We all wondered who he was. Some fans, including me, thought he was really from the Fox universe, as that would have been a perfect way to introduce the multiverse. But as it turns out, Quicksilver is just revealed to be some random guy, Ralph, who was one of the Westview residents, and previously was mentioned by Agatha as her husband. But Agatha ends up controlling him and gives him super speed powers in order to convince Wanda that her brother was somehow back from the dead. Well, I think Ralph might actually be the missing person that Jimmy was investigating, and he indeed might be from the Fox universe, but Marvel is just throwing us a curveball here, so watch out for that one. Finally, towards the end of the episode, we get the most heart-touching moments as Wanda had to sacrifice her children and Vision since they couldn't live outside of the Westview. And here the episode ends with the end of the Westview. But we do get 2 post-credit scenes in WandaVision finale, and one of them is the most confusing post-credit scenes ever, which we will discuss in our next video. And with that, we'll bring this video to an end. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.